Welcome back, John B.
Yeah, thanks, Kieran. I one song breaks are generally the best way to do things around here on Hyperdrive. Not that we never really have a 1 minute or one song, between the talking, but
Hardly.
yeah, very hardly, very rare. But we are obviously going to be saying a very good afternoon to an artist that we've kind of adopted as one of Chapter One Radio's own artists. We play on Hyperdrive every day now, you know.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and I want to just say a very good afternoon to Werner Bekker. Good afternoon, brother. You just got to unmute yourself there before we get into that. There we go.
There you go. What's up?
Yeah, man. It's all
Awesome.
it's all good. It's all good. How are you doing, my man?
Good. I'm just not used to the whole MS Teams Zoom thing. Like, I think
Yeah, yeah.
my wife, who's
Yes.
actually who works for FME. I keep saying my girlfriend, but she's used to it. It's not really kicked in yet.
No, absolutely not. We'll get into that discussion as well. Obviously, in the few minutes we'll be chatting. But Kieran, it's an honor to have Vanna on here. I mean,
Oh yes, it definitely is.
we've been placing It's You for about a week, just over a week now.
Yep.
And oh man, seriously, that song has absolutely it touches your heart in a way, So Kieran, I want to open the floor up to you first of all. Firstly,
Oh yes.
I'll be in the background here. I like working from not getting
Man,
involved.
it's an absolute pleasure having you on the show. And before we go into the whole congratulation part as well, before for the ring on the finger, for the listeners out there who don't know who you are as yet, okay. Yes, I heard your track on the station as well, many times. Do tell them a little bit about yourself.
Cool. Yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter from Johannesburg. I started doing what I'm doing about 7, 8 years now ago, and I was basically fresh out of school. My dad was a singer-songwriter as well, and
Okay.
I remember the first thing that I wanted to do is firstly convince them that I don't want to go study engineering or architecture or something like that,
Yeah.
and that took some time.
Yeah.
And the first thing I did in the new year, after my matric years, I went to do a
Yeah.
gig. So, I mean, from there on out, it's just gigging full time.
Nice.
I like that.
Nice.
I love that.
Nice. Vanna, obviously, for our listeners out there and for us here, so obviously we're quite close with Melissa. We chat often, obviously, about new singles coming out, new tracks coming out. And when she mentioned Werner Bekker's track, and obviously not being able to be available for the day that released, I was like, okay, that's cool. But, can we maybe set something up? And she was like, the guy's getting married. I was like, okay, that is okay. That's awesome. I want to know, obviously, first of all, congratulations on the nuptials, obviously, on the nuptials. How you obviously said it hasn't sunk in yet. Now, that's a dangerous. You're treading on dangerous waters as we speak. But congratulations, first of all. Secondly, how's it been, obviously, as an artist in lockdown itself? First of all, as an artist, doing the music and everything else, and then secondly, how did it feel actually getting married in lockdown? What was that experience like?
Okay, so from an artist perspective, it's been quite, like, I know it's been hard, but in the same sense, I feel like it's been so hard on everyone in every industry. So I think the best thing that I took from it was to use the time that I had available, because usually I'm out teaching lessons almost like whole day long, every day, and in this time I really had time. I had 6 months to sit at home, and I couldn't go into studio, so we had to make a plan. And I started recording myself on the sort of this little home studio that I've built for myself for the last couple of years. And I mean, that was just, it was so awesome, and it was tough, but it was, I think it was so good for me and for many artists that I know to sort of reevaluate and reassess where you want to go and how you want to do things in the future. So that's been really cool. And from getting married, I don't know, we started speaking about it couple of months before lockdown, just sort of dreaming about one day, you know.
Mm.
And during lockdown, we just became like we were always close, but we just became even closer because you're spending time like with this
Yes.
person 24/7. And it was just the right time. I don't know what to say really. We got a venue to do it at with 30 of our friends and family. It's
Amazing.
very small, and we
I
just
love
had a
that.
job.
There we
That's
go. There we go. We added Joe. I like that.
that is awesome. That's awesome, man. You know, really, I applaud you on that. And obviously, with the regulations and restrictions and all that,
Mm.
you know, I really personally, I think that weddings are a lot more. It should be a lot more intimate. You know, people generally get married with hundreds of people coming from both parties, and it's like, do you even know that auntie or uncle that's come there now? I mean, it's just, you haven't seen them for
Totally.
30 years. All of a sudden, they're at your wedding. Like, what? You know?
Exactly. That was the prerequisite that Anya said because
Yeah.
she's been married before. She's a bit older than
Yeah.
I am,
Come.
about 5 years old. And at her first wedding, it was like a class wedding.
Yeah.
And they were
Yeah.
like people from the community there. There was apparently like 200 people, you know, it's just like half the people she didn't know. So we were like, we're going the opposite route and just doing it super chill.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I
I
like
love it.
that. I like
I
that.
love that. Yes, I do. I love it as well. Kieran, I know you've always got a set of different questions you like asking our guests.
I
So
got it. I got a ton. I got a ton.
before
Firstly,
before you get there, I just want to give Werner a bit of a heads up. Okay, so be careful. Kieran, we are called the naughty boys for a reason. Okay, he's the naughty one.
Yeah.
I'm the more civil one, apparently.
Uh-huh.
But
Apparently.
but yeah, he's got a ton of questions. So he normally goes through a whole list of them randomly. So be careful.
I'm up for anything, man.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff, Werner. Look, congrats again. I know John B said, but congrats from my side. It's absolutely awesome step in your life. Obviously, taking that step towards freedom. But look, what I want to find about you is this. Obviously, lockdown has you had your. I like ask actually guests your pros and cons during lockdown, especially as an artist. Okay, knowing that most of your cons were actually pros were obviously getting married and all these things. But what were the cons during lockdown? That's what I would love to hear.
I mean, a big thing for me, and I think for everyone, was just the stress of contracting the virus and like having a fear of that because you never know when things are sort of going to go back to normal, what opportunities are going to come up, and like it could be that tomorrow you get the opportunity to go work overseas or whatever, and you don't want that standing in the way. So that was obviously a major con. It sucked for me not to see my friends and family. Not to have a beer over the weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that's sort of like it's the small things that you miss. Like the cons really, like, I feel like it's always that way when you, for instance, you go on a holiday, right? And you think, oh, but last year's holiday was so much better than this year. And you always think of the past as being okay, even though there were loads of shit stuff. Like, I can't remember anything really that horrible.
I wanted to chirp in there and say, don't worry, the liquor sales are now available on weekends, so you're quite okay to have alcohol again. But I like that. I like it. You know, obviously, I tend to a lot of tongue in cheek and obviously in conversations, but you know, for an artist itself, obviously coming during lockdown and everything else like that, in your career itself, not even about COVID, I'm talking about your music career itself. What has been the driving force behind your music? Like, what has really driven you as an artist?
I think for me, it's really a lot about doing for other people what has been done for me by other artists, in the sense where all the music that I listened to as a child growing up really sort of, I could relate to it, and it helped me through some tough times, and it made the good times even better. And I feel like as an artist, that's what I strive to do, and that's what keeps me going. And I've got this, I don't know, I've got a big passion for it. I've got a big passion for people. I've got a big passion to share stories and to help out as much as I can. So I think that's definitely part of the drive.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love that.
Kieran,
honestly love that.
Kieran, I want to sort of mention something there, obviously, with what Werner just said. Now, we had a conversation yesterday on air regarding music. We do Thursdays as a throwback Thursday. Okay, so we have a lot of the older classical music and stuff that we grew up with, kind of. And that was the one conversation we actually had, was how the music of yesteryear, basically, affected us, inspired our lives. How did it get us to do what we're doing? How did it motivate us? And you just brought it up again, which is great. I like that you got that feel about your music as well, because you want to be able to create a platform, not just for yourself, but as for people who are listening to your track, to actually go to a place, where they may have experienced something similar to what you write or you sang about. And that is it. It is hell of important. I really appreciate that. And I don't think that artists, or most artists these days, don't look at music that way. I do feel that music's kind of evolved in a way where it's now all about the beat itself and not even the lyrics anymore, in a sense. And there's very few artists like yourself that actually have the lyrical side of things before you even get to the track itself. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks, man. That means a lot.
Look, it's something that most people don't do. I mean, I'm the kind of person that I do a lot of lyricism work myself. I do a lot of writing, and I tend to write before I even hear a track. There's no beat, there's nothing. It's just lyrics, and then from there you'll kind of form it to where you want it to be. You know how it goes. I mean, it's you'll hear a beat to a track, and you're like, ooh, okay, I might have to change this or there just to make it, But artists these days will rather hear a beat and then all of a sudden try and go into it and make it their own kind of thing.
Yes.
And I don't know if that's the right way of doing things. Obviously, that seems successful enough. I'd say it very loosely. But for your track, it's you. What was the process with that track? What is the story behind it? Give our listeners a bit of an in-depth description of how the track came along.
Yeah, like I think I was 21 years old when I wrote the song. So it's about 4 years back when I wrote the song. And my parents had just were in the middle of a divorce, sort of sleeping in different rooms in our house. And like I grew up with the dream childhood. Like I used to always say, like, how am I so lucky to have a family that loves each other so much, parents who have like such a loving relationship, and everyone else is so unlucky. And at that point I realized that like it was just the way that things went, and the song came out like a love song, but I think in the end it was sort of a song to soothe both of my parents, to have them know that I love them, and also a song for myself in the end, to say that no matter what happens, even though you're going through a really tough time at the moment, things seem like they're falling apart, the world's falling apart, remember that you should always love yourself. And I think that's the main sort of part of me that resonated with that song. It was so strange when I wrote the song in the moment, because I was in such a bad space. I thought, where the hell is the song coming from? Like, why am I writing a love song right now? And then 2 years, 3 years after the fact, I look back and I realized, oh my word, this line and that line and this lyric. And then you just realize, oh, this is actually what the song is about.
Wow.
Wow.
That is in depth, brother. I
was about to say,
that is deep, man. I love that about the song though, because like I say, each song that we listen to, especially I would say more the genre that we're talking about, discussing right now. Obviously, those kind of tracks. It's like there's an emotional attachment to it in some way or other. And for you to be able to share that with our listeners and us in studio as well, obviously. Is amazing. I thank you for that. I really applaud you for that. It's an amazing track. It really is an amazing track.
As I said, that's what it's about, though, is that sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. Kieran.
Awesome stuff.
Kieran, this man's inspirational. I love these guys, man.
I'm telling you, I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Exactly what you see. Most of the time, I'll be honest with you, most of the time people would say this thought process went into it, but they wouldn't have gone as into depth as you literally just went. And I do myself applaud you with that. What I want to find about you is this: for the listeners out there, what on a daily basis, perhaps, okay, or on a daily basis or throughout your life, what or who was your motivation, inspiration?
Man, so if I'm talking from a specific musical point of view, I would say there's like a
Yep.
couple of artists stand out. Damien
Mm.
Rice, one of my big all-time favorites. Jason
Mhm.
Mraz,
Yep.
Ben Howard. All
Yeah.
of these singer-songwriters who sing about real stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's what I sort of grew up with as well. My dad used to listen to a lot of Cat Stevens.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
obviously in my personal life, my parents were a massive inspiration for me. As I said, like I've always felt super lucky to have parents who were so loving and stuff. And
Yes,
and
yes.
my mum was a painter and an artist when I was still young.
Nice.
Now she's a teacher. And my dad was a songwriter. So I grew up in this very creative family, and I feel like that sort of it made it easy to feel inspired. You know? Like there was always something creative happening.
I love it.
I love that. I love that.
Sure. Yeah, you know, I think we need more. We need more individuals like yourself, there, Werner. I must be honest with you. I mean, it's not even just in the musical sense of the thing, of the word. You know, it's just. I think that the way that your outlook in life itself, you know, in general, is what we are lacking very much so in this world of ours, not even in our country, in our world. You know, because I don't think everyone sees the life as you do. Obviously, no one's the same. But I mean, I would really say that we need more people like yourself because your outlook in life is so great. It's so positive. You see all the good, even in the negative senses of the words, you still see the good part of things in life, you know, and that there is something that you should hold on to for the rest of your life. Firstly, okay.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I think the music actually helps because I write about all the stuff that bothers me. And then in the end, like that's an outlet. So that way I can sort of stay positive about that stuff.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I always say I encourage everyone to do something like this, something creative, just to like get that stuff out.
Yes.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask you, what is in the pipeline for you, Werner? What's next? Is there perhaps an album coming out? Are you busy working on a project? Tell our listeners more about that.
So like I mentioned, I recorded during the lockdown. I recorded about 11 songs, but we're going to release it as separate EP. There's an EP coming out start of next year. And the next single off that EP is coming out next week, Friday. So next week, Friday, there'll be a new tune out, which is super, super awesome. It's called Let It Go. And this one's really like a heartfelt, sit by the fire with a glass of wine kind of
Nice.
This guy. I'm not gonna say anything more now. I'm just gonna keep quiet, put my camera off, and just go sip on my water because that's as close as I'm gonna get to wine right now. But it's amazing. You know, I can keep on repeating it, but I mean, Kieran, the kind of conversation that Van is giving us right now is inspirational. Not even just on the musical side. It's like just the outlook that you've got, man. It's amazing.
Exactly. What I love is your number one outlook, your positivity. Even though all these trials and tribulations we as a human race is going through, okay, you still have that positive outlook, that's why like John B said, we need more people like you. We definitely do. It's motivational, it's inspirational to many out there as well. So what I can say from my side is never stop doing what you were doing. Never stop doing what you were doing. It's absolutely brilliant. But what I want to find out for you is this, Werner. What I want to find out for you is this. For upcoming artists, right? So who actually want to pursue their dreams as well as you are doing. What would your words of inspiration or motivation? What would you tell them?
Yo, man, I think the big thing, and I don't only see this from my perspective. I've seen this with major acts like Ed Sheeran and those guys as well.
Yes.
As the one thing that they all have in common is that they just keep going.
Yes.
You could be horrible when you start out. I've got people who've told me that that, for instance, Jeremy Loops, who's now an international artist, when he started out, he was pretty rough around the edges, like not as great, and he worked his ass off until he was able to do what he envisioned to do. So if you've got the vision, put in the time. They say everyone has to put in like 10,000 hours or something like that to be professional in something. Put in those 10,000 hours, and if you just continue doing that, each hour that you put on top of that is going to be closer towards the goal. I think that's the most important part.
Amen.
I love that.
Amen to that. I want to ask you a question. Obviously, not actually even a question. I just want to give you the opportunity to say your shout outs. Have you got any special people in your life right now that may be tuned in? Obviously for reasons, but are there any special shout outs or any thank yous that you'd like to give at this time?
Yeah, obviously to my wife, I mean, I love her so much, and she's always supporting me. I don't think I've ever had anyone come to as many shows as she does. So that's incredible. And then obviously all my friends and family who support me, and yeah, you guys and Mel and the team who
Yeah.
sort of helped me get to where I am. I mean, it's just amazing. So one other thing that I could actually mention to up and coming artists is that it's all about when you feel like you've achieved the sound that you want to achieve. It's all about the team that you build and the people that you associate yourself.
Yes.
I mean, never settle for someone who's trying to make you something else. Stick to those people who love you and see what you have as something that's valuable. So, I mean, my team, I can only speak beautiful words about them. They're so lovely and they really believe in what I do. And I thank you so much.
Absolutely great.
Absolutely.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I mean, I applaud everybody that's obviously with regards to your team itself. I like I said in the beginning, Mel and myself, I think we've been working together now for just under 2 years that we've been communicating and moving forward and getting the artists on as a platform as Chapter One Radio. And the amount of work that woman puts in, it's actually quite scary that she's even got time to sleep.
Crazy.
I am no, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. We give her both thumbs up. Give her, just give her all the praise because she does a lot of work, and the amount of artists that she deals with is insane. So,
incredible.
We need more people like this in the industry. I mean, it's obviously the industry's got a bit of a way of going through things at the moment. It's battling with certain aspects of the industry itself. But I think it's more of an in-house battle, to be honest with you. I just think that it's one power against another power, and they're trying to struggle to see who comes out on top. And the industry itself is taking the knock forward, and that's the sad part of it all. But there's the reason we started Chapter One Radio. Wow, man, I can't wait to hear what's coming from you next. I really can't wait. Also, the benefit of us being an online radio station, I'll let you know this, and I don't think most people will let you know. Obviously, I don't think Mel would let you know about this, but we've actually got an Australian presenter as well that does a show once a week out in Melbourne, and she's been mandated by us literally to play SA music on 90% of the show.
That's amazing, man.
So
that's amazing.
I definitely will be plugging your track to her way as well.
Yeah.
So she can start showcasing our SA talent to the Australians and actually show them how to do music properly. No, I'm joking. Not for that reason. But it's just to get you guys that platform on a different level.
Exactly.
Sweet, man. Yeah.
I mean, we are currently heard in about 53 different countries around the world, which is an amazing aspect. And I just hope, and I mean, I pray this over life right now that you just get what's coming your way with regards to exposure and love that you're receiving for the song, because this track is going to go very, very far, and so is your career, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely awesome, Werner. But what we're going to do is, Werner, we're actually going to play out with your song.
Yep.
And this right here is Werner Bekker with It's You.
Thanks, Werner.
Cheers, guys. All right. Thanks for having me, guys. Cheers.